Look, I've had a lot of plugins, countless tape plugins. I got my hands on this thing and instantly it became my favorite.
The J37 is a recreation of a mythical tape machine, which was built by Studer.
I would call it with Concord. It was the standard. The first time I went to Abbey Road with Hans, which was like 1985, that was the first time I saw one.
Le fameux J37 Studer. Il y en a eu très peu, hein, des J37. Donc là, c'est le modèle multipiston. C'est une technologie qui est dite à tube. C'est une technologie qui est assez simple à la fois, mais complexe en même temps.
It looks like some scientist has just popped it in from outer space. I went back and asked the maintenance guys, I go, what the fuck is that? And he goes, oh, you've got to hear that.
It was an analog tape machine that's probably most famous for being the original tape machine of the Beatles, and specifically using it on Sgt. Pepper's.
It was created in the early 60s. Its specialness is it's using a huge tape, 1-inch tape for 4 tracks. So each track has incredible resolution.
And you wonder, what could they possibly do with 4 tracks? But that's where the idea of bouncing, the first 3 to a new additional track, or having more than one J37 together and syncing them together.
The J37 is a special machine to me because it magically blends a different couple types of harmonics, odd and even harmonics.
And that machine is brilliant. The way it's built as well is fucking crazy. It's modular. It's like the guys are building a modular fucking tape machine in 1960s. That's genius. It's like the capstan's broken or this is broken. Great. Turn the machine off. We replaced that part. It's like incredible.
They did what they needed to do, all discrete, with a lot of tubes, and it's incredibly well engineered, over engineered to be frank.
Et on a quand même 52 lampes dans cette machine. Il y a une compression naturelle qui se fait à travers le tube qu'on ne peut pas retrouver sur une technologie à transistor. Donc on a un rapport signal-bruit qui est beaucoup plus dosable, si je puis dire, comparé à un transistor.
It's like putting a sock. It was like a little sock, like a piece of wool. Tape saturation, a bit of compression, a lot of compression actually. It's got a color, it has a color. I didn't know the color until I heard the color.
One of the key parts of John Lennon's sound was they would do a loop on the J37 and send his vocals out to it, and the gap between the sync and repro head was his slap vocal. So, that signature, John Lennon slap was created off of that machine.
The project started when we got in contact with Poussin, which is the owner of the machine we recreated.
L'origine, c'est une machine qui vient du studio Barclay, qui a connu Charles Aznavour, Jacques Brel, Claude Nougaro, Dalida, beaucoup d'autres artistes. La technique, c'était souvent de traquer basse, batterie, guitare sur une piste, et après, ils faisaient l'harmonie sur 2 autres pistes, cuivre, cordes, et la voix sur la piste 4.
Fils de sultan, fils de fakir.
Pour les cas de Jacques Brel, ça a toujours été en live. C'est-à-dire qu'ils enregistraient l'orchestre sur les pistes 1 et 2, et sur la piste 3, la voix. C'est-à-dire que la voix en piste 3 ou 4, c'était additionnel. S'il manquait de la voix, on rajoutait de la voix.
Les enfants ont un royaume, un coin de phare.
At that point, the first question was, how are we gonna modelize that? It's more than 50 tubes, it's really high voltages, so it's really dangerous, and it's an old machine. If we wanted to disassemble it to measure everything, there was a huge risk of something breaking. That's when machine learning started to make sense.
Donc on a une équipe de 5 personnes du département recherche et développement d'Arturia qui ont passé un certain nombre de temps et d'heures pour la modélisation ici, au studio.
The machine learning approach here was to use a neural network and make it self-train. It trains, but it stupidly trains. And like an athlete, you need a coach to properly train for bigger benefits. And that's where the human input is essential.
Mais c'est pas pour flatter Arturia, hein. Mais c'est pas évident. Modéliser cette machine parce qu'elle est à tube. Parce que ça varie, il y a énormément de variantes. Et je trouve que c'est assez bien fait.
It was tough, but all the team put like huge effort into it.
And now this little plugin has come out and I've been using it as I would use the machine. I have to say I'm really happy with it.
You can open the tape J37, you can sift through 4 different calibrations and instantly know that this thing sounds phenomenal.
Moi, je trouve qu'il a été très bien fait. Et c'est assez fidèle à la machine.
I used it, I would say, as I would use a compressor. The color is really subtle, and I love that. It's not like woof like that.
I love using this plugin as glue for a mix. I also like using it as a sidechain for my drums. And then of course I really like using it as a delay. It's actually a fantastic tape delay. The tape machine itself was never able to replicate a 1/8 note or a 1/4 note delay, but in this digital world we're able to lock it to the tempo and also retain the warmth of the tape.
I can see myself using it on drum buses. I can see myself using it on vocal buses. I can see myself using it everywhere, really, to be quite honest.
Let's listen to an example of this track, which at the moment we're just going to listen to drums without it there. So I'm muting the return and we'll listen. Hear how thin that is? Now we're going to open up this return and listen to it with it. It's just perfect for this track. Can't not be there anymore. Not going away.
Another thing we like to use the J37 on as a delay. I set up on the vocal an 1/8 note delay. Let's take a listen to that. Vocals without the delay. Here comes delay.
These foolish games we play.
The delay just adds just such a lush warmth and fills in all those gaps. Nice thing about this plugin is it's not just what does the J37 do and replicate it, it's what J37 could do in imagination.
Pick a tape plugin from the past. I've used it. Ask me what I'm going to use from this moment on. There's no question.
It's interesting because I get a lot of plugins, and this one is like it's held my attention. It's like, oh, okay, I want to go back for more.